So Karima Never on Instagram says, "Hi Laura and Robin. First of all, I love what you're doing. You're by far the most complete information source for New Zealand out there." Oh, come on, I'm blushing. I'm planning to visit New Zealand next year around February, March. I have a few questions. How long does it take to visit both islands with InterCity? Will 1 month be enough without rushing it too much? And do I need to book all my accommodations at once before leaving? I'm afraid that I won't find a place to sleep because everything is fully booked. Plus, it won't need to be much more expensive than booking it beforehand. Thanks for your reply. Cheers, Karima. All right, so we're going to be covering quite a few items right here. So first up, Karima wants to travel with InterCity, which is a nationwide coach bus service that covers most places in New Zealand. It's basically the equivalent to your Euroline in Europe or your Greyhound in the US. And she wants to know if 1 month is enough actually to travel around the country.
Yeah, it absolutely is. In fact, InterCity do a couple of different sort of passes, which do cover about a month's worth of travel. One of them is a travel pass, which is basically a set itinerary around New Zealand, which can last up to, I think, about 21 days, I think that travel pass is. Alternatively, which I think would be the best option for you, is the 60-hour pass. Basically, this is called a flexi pass, and it allows you to travel for about 60 hours. It's kind of an approximate thing. It's not like minute to minute, but it's a 60 hours travel pass, which is usually the equivalent of about 15 days of traveling around, which I'll
just saying 15 days, that would be if you literally get on the bus every single day and you just have 1 day in every place. So that's why we kind of recommend that. So if you have 60 days, you can spend a bit more days along the way.
If you have 15 days, so that's 15 days worth of travel. But yeah, like Robin said, that gives you time to actually not feel too rushed, and you have, another 15 days to relax and stuff along the way.
Let's say you love Rotorua, let's say you love Rotorua, you spend 2-3 days in Rotorua and then you rush the rest.
Yeah, because there'll be some areas that you may only want to stay one night in, and there'll definitely be some areas that you want to spend a few days. So yeah, the Flexi Pass with InterCity, which is about get a 60-hour Flexi Pass, that will definitely be more than enough for you to travel the entire country.
Now, one of the things that we really like about the FlexiPass, and again on BackpackerGuide.NZ, we have a full article about how to compare all the different passes and all of that. And we obviously will be linking to this article in the description below. But one of the things that we really like about those is that you can actually book more than just the buses, right? So for example, for your ferry transfer between Wellington and Picton, so that's from the north end to the south end, this can be booked within your hours of the pass. So when we say 60 hours with what you're going to be spending, that's including your ferry crossing as well. So that's more savings there. It also includes, it can also include a cruise in Milford Sound as well, which we literally just talked about a little bit before. So you can book a few extra activities as well with those. And it's very flexible since it's called a FlexiPass. So let's say that you're traveling a whole month in New Zealand and it turns out that you only use 50 hours worth of it. And again, hours doesn't mean an hour in the bus, it's kind of a credit, right? So some routes may take 3 hours and cost you only 2, and some routes may take 1 hour and cost you 3 hours. It's set on their website. But let's say you only use 50 hours and you have a remaining 10 hours, you do have the right to sell it to someone else to use it. So you won't be making that much money, but you may get an extra back $50 or $100 at the end of your trip, giving it to another traveler in your hostel before leaving. So I think that's very handy as well, and it's very flexible, and a lot of people actually try to rush kind of their trip with InterCity, and when we recommend the 60-hour pass, people try to do it in 2 weeks. I personally think it's too fast. I think that if I have to hop on the bus every single day, I just have a bad, you hop on the bus in the morning, you travel to the next destination that takes you 2-3 hours, then you check in your hostel, put you back down, then you only have half the day to explore the area and then moving on to the next place. So I don't like that. I like to take more time, and usually when we 60-hour flexi pass, we usually recommend to have a month. So it looks like it's really a good fit for you. And the other thing is that yes, on the website they actually have a sample of kind of like what you could do with those 60 hours, which is actually very close to what we would recommend. But if there is some places that you don't care about, if there is some places, let's say you don't want to go to Tauranga, for example, because that's not your thing, and you think you're going to be able to see some beach and relaxing places elsewhere in the world, don't go there and skip through and go somewhere else. You're completely free to make your own itinerary, meaning that if you're really interested in Maori culture and some adventure activities, you may want to spend like 5 days in Rotorua. If you're really into the marine wildlife, you may want to spend 3 days in Kaikoura. It's totally fine, and you are able to make your itinerary yourself. So we think it's like the best way to kind of tailor your own itinerary on the budget. Now, the second part of Karima's question was, do I need to book all my accommodations before leaving? Again, she's traveling in, she's going to be traveling in February, March next year, right? She's afraid that she won't find a place to sleep because everything will be fully booked. And she also wants to know if she's going to be saving a lot of money by booking in advance.
Yeah, so I don't, in terms of saving money, the only way basically you will save money in terms of booking in advance is just so you get the first choice of what you want to book. For instance, Queenstown is a town with loads of different accommodation. If you don't book it in advance because of how popular Queenstown is, for example, you may be left with only accommodation that might be a little bit more expensive for you. So so in terms of towns like that where it's super popular but there's limited accommodation, and if you don't book in advance, then maybe you won't get your first choice of accommodation, which i.e. might be the sort of most affordable accommodation. So definitely, because you're traveling February to March, which is the high season or the busiest season in New Zealand for locations like Milford Sound, maybe Lake Tekapo, Queenstown, Franz Joseph, for instance, they're 4 areas that are super busy, but maybe the accommodation is...
Mount Cook as well, if you plan to
Mount Cook as well. The accommodation is either limited or it's just so busy that, you know, it usually all gets fully booked pretty quickly. So usually you can get away in other areas of New Zealand without having to book too far in advance. I mean, at that time of year, I would recommend just trying to book as far in advance as possible. But yeah, definitely for those really busy areas, make sure that you do book if you want to save money and actually get the accommodation that you actually want.
Now, I just want to address quickly the saving money by booking in advance with accommodation. So when we say you're going to be saving money by booking in advance, you're actually going to be saving money compared to booking very last minute. But there is not much of a difference booking 3 months, 3 months in advance or 6 months in advance. It's going to be about the same price. It's just that it secures you the right type of room. And that's another way that we consider that you're saving money. Quite often, if you wait for only a month in advance, especially in summer, you may be left only with like premium rooms or private rooms, or if you were going for a hostel, only a 4 share rather than an 8 share. And so all those kind of things will basically force you to kind of increase the amount of money you're going to be spending on accommodation. So it's all about actually making the most of the availability. But yeah, so in short, Karima, to organize your trip in February and March, well, InterCity has the largest network in the country bus-wise, and you'll be able to tailor your own little itinerary. So that's going to be a great way to save money. And 30 days, we consider it's a great time to use one of the InterCity FlexiPass, which is 60 hours. And then for booking your accommodation, we think that you should be booking your accommodation, late this year. So consider maybe like October to kind of like the month where you want to have booked like most of the accommodation in the places you really want to be going at. So like that you have kind of your flexibility. But that should be the way we organize your trip. We think that you have a really good plan. 1 month to explore all of New Zealand is really good. I mean, you're pretty lucky to have a whole month off from work. I just want to point that out. That's not everybody that can do that. So we think that you have a really good plan, and we think that you're going to have a blast in New Zealand. Now, if you do have any follow-up questions in the comments,
I was just going to say there is an additional comment that she's just asked as well on the live chat, asking if the InterCity does have good coverage across both islands, and it absolutely does.
Yes.
to most places you're going to want to get to. I think, yeah, both on the North Island and the South Island, it has really good coverage. And then once you arrive in some of the maybe larger cities, then there are public transport buses available. For instance, in Auckland, Wellington, Queenstown, Rotorua, and just a few off the top of my head, they have their own sort of bus networks within those cities to get to maybe some of the outer suburbs. So you do have other options as well once you arrive in some of obviously the larger places. And also in Rotorua, for instance, they have a lot of tourist shuttles to some of the main attractions. There's a lot of geothermal parks, for instance, that are outside of Rotorua, so there are tourist shuttles available. And if all else fails, there's always taxis and that sort of thing. So
taxis are Uber.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So so again, if you have questions of your own, in the comment below, and obviously if you guys find this video useful, like and subscribe. Do like the 1 million people that watched our video. Yay!